I am very excited today to introduce you to my friends, Paul and Marquette Redham, who are Austin locals and specialize in helping people buy and sell homes, single family homes, condos, residential income, and other kinds of investment in and around Austin. So please welcome Paul and Marquette.
Thank you for having us. We really
Yes.
appreciate it. And it's also
Hook
home,
'em.
home of the Longhorns, baby. There we go.
Little obnoxious
I
town
think,
pride
I
there.
think next year's football team is going to really be something.
You can tell when we're in Texas when we start, the very first words out of our mouth are football.
Well, we always have to be optimistic about our horns. Sooner or later.
Anyway, we're very excited to visit with you and to get to connect. So thank you for having us.
Well, Paul and Marquette are fellow Compass agents, and they happen to be in one of my favorite places in the country, Austin. And Austin seems to be quite a favorable place with Southern California people lately who are planning either a second home or an exit outside of California. So I just wanted to let Paul and Marquette talk a little bit about their market, what it's like to raise a family there, and some of the fun things that they love to do. And then we'll talk some real estate also.
Yeah. You want to jam on that, babe? Or
Well, first of all, Paul's kind of a native Austinite. He's been here since he was.
I got here when I was three,
I'm
not native, but as soon as I could talk, walk, and persuade, we made our way here.
And that makes him one of the rare birds. I mean, it's kind of rare these days to find a true, real Austinite that has grown up here. And that really means he has an in-depth understanding of the market, which I think is hard to sort of rival. I came for college, and I'm one of those people that moved here and never left, right? Like I came, fell in love with the city, never went away. We ran our own independent brokerage, Homesville Real Estate, for 15 years, and then made the leap to join Compass a couple of years ago. And it's been a great partnership. We've got married in 2004, and we have, yeah, I know the date. That's right. Good thing I'm the one doing the intro. Anyway, we got married in 2004. We've got two little kids who are 10 and 6 at this point. And so very involved with our community and with our schools. I handle our marketing and operations, and Paul handles the sales. But before coming into real estate with Paul, I was practicing attorney for 17 years, where I represented school districts. And so I think it's kind of a neat thing that for people who are really interested in the school systems locally, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, I imagine, it's kind of a nice partnership to build on Paul's real estate experience and then have that school knowledge and background to bring to it as well. So what would you say about Austin?
It's our little slice of heaven. It really is. And, it's been fascinating growing up here, watching it go from the least expensive town in Texas to the most expensive. And I think what's really driven all that is our accepting nature in town, and our willingness to love everybody, and to get along with, the weird. And
yeah, have you ever heard the saying, crazy, keep Austin weird?
I was going to ask you because yes, I have. And it's painted on some famous walls too, right? Yeah. It's been more than 20 years since I've been to Austin, but I'm sure that's still a pretty strong motto for you all. Is that correct?
It is. I think that's how the tech companies started coming in the 90s, and they found that their employees really enjoyed being here because, no offense to the tech guys, but some of them are kind of weird, and we were cool with that. They just fit right in, yeah. And then so more people wanted to come work here, and I think that's where it all started. And of course, it's snowballed in recent years.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think we have this great combination of a very urban and sophisticated, educated city, yet very laid back, very approachable, friendly, and very accepting. I mean, there's all sorts of things in our history that we could point back on, famous characters that are part of our Keep Austin Weird vibe. We've had, a lot of interesting things in our time here that have kind of been banners that we wave proudly. I mean, like one of our local icons are bats, right? We have this colony of bats that live under the Congress Bridge that they fly out and feed on the we have a river, the Colorado River runs through the city, and they fly out and they feed in the evenings in the fall through the summer. And so, it's just little weird stuff like that's a draw. Like we all go watch the bats fly out from the bridge. So anyway, it is a little slice of heaven. I agree.
Yeah.
Good food, good people, good music, and bats. What more do you need?
Well, we're a good fit for California. People come here and they adjust very quickly and very easily. The biggest thing that we hear from California is, hey, is everybody really this nice? And we really are.
That's awesome.
People are, it takes a couple months for people to adjust. They think we're all being fake, but
Well, and it's funny because Austin has sort of earned this reputation. One, we're the big blue dot in the middle of a very red state. But I think that, and it's not to say that it's all blue, but we're known that way. And we've really earned a reputation over the years of being a great place to live. I mean, we were ranked the #1 place to live by US News and World Report for 3 years in a row between 2017 and 2019. We dropped in 2020 to #3. I don't know what they were thinking. This year for 2021, Zillow has identified Austin as one of the number one market kind of poised for growth. People think of Austin or they think of Texas. I think there's a lot of misconceptions that Texas is, cowboys and, and it's not. I mean, Austin is we're the 11th largest city in the nation. We're a very urban place to live. And we're known as the live music capital of the world. So, the home of South by Southwest and Austin City Limits, lots of live music, lots of musicians and festivals. Things are, of course, adjusting during COVID. But in addition to being this sort of urban place, I think, have a great convenience to a lot of outdoor things. I mean, we do live on the Colorado River runs through the city, and there's little parts of it that have been dammed up. So you have lakes, you have a lot of opportunity to go hiking and biking and go out and go boating. There's a really nice, robust outdoor lifestyle. And because we usually have pretty mild temperatures, like around, 79 or so is our average temp. I'm not talking about summer. Summer's hot as hell, right? But
we have 8 months of great weather.
We have 8 months of great weather. So you really can get out. I mean, when a lot of people are freezing in the winter, we're still kind of able to get out there with a light jacket and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. Sometimes in December, I put on a pair of shorts.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then, you mentioned the food scene, right? Like we've gotten to be very well known now for our food. Because we draw so many people from all over the world, we have a lot of different diversity in our food. A lot of, I think Wallet Hub ranked us as one of the top foodie destinations the last couple of years, which is kind of fun. So there's always something new opening. There's always something new to try. And because of our weather, there's a lot of patios, which is great for being able to still go out and dine during COVID. You mentioned the Longhorns.
Yeah.
You can't come to Austin without feeling in the fall, the Saturdays with college football. Our basketball team is also really well regarded.
There's a reason why we don't have a professional team.
Yeah, but we do have a major soccer league.
We got that coming,
Major League Soccer coming. They're building a stadium. That's coming. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't realize we also have a Formula One racetrack that opened, in the last 5 or 6 years. And so, that's really cool to come bring in this huge, people are flying in from all over the world to watch the races. You got to drive the track this winter, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, 25 miles an hour. It wasn't. There's a pace car that was slowing me down. I'd let them get a little space and I'd gun it, But it was fun to be on the track.
Yeah. So, there's all sorts of stuff and art too. Like I think people forget that we've got some really neat art opportunities in Austin, like any urban city. We've got a ballet, we've got a symphony, we have the opera, we've got lots of different museums to choose from. And as we grow, we become even more of a destination for that. So there's really something for everybody, whatever you want to do. So I probably rambled a lot, but we love where we live. Can you tell, Barry?
I think that's great. I think one of the downsides, to Austin is, when we travel, we eat food when we travel and it's not as good.
You're just used to your Texas food.
And, everybody else is like, "Ooh, the food's so good here." And I'm like, man, we got it better at home.
And then, when people are looking at a cost benefit analysis and they're thinking about moving here, one of the things we're sometimes surprised to hear about is our property taxes.
Yeah. Property taxes are usually a surprise to people. I think in California, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like 1.25% property tax, something like that.
Yes.
Here we're over 2%, and if you go out to the burbs, sometimes you'll get as high as 3% property taxes. But when
So
you
county by county is different there as opposed to the whole state.
well, it's really a little more complicated than that. Taxes are really based on all the things that your home is subscribed to for where it's at. In some areas you may just have like the Travis County Police, where in other areas you may have City of Austin and Travis County, and then depending on your school district. Mostly in Central Austin, where we've focused most of our lives, it's about 2.25.
The upside is we don't have income tax, right? We don't have corporate income tax and we don't have personal income tax.
Yeah. So it
is a lot of people are surprised. They're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Well, you got to pay for the roads and
Absolutely.
the police and all the teachers and all the things. So we got to get the money somewhere. But most people, when they do their calculation, they're pretty happy. So it makes a lot of sense.
On the public school front, you have the Austin Independent School District, and then people tend to think of Austin, and there's Central Austin where we work primarily. Sorry, I'm using my
no, just don't hit me.
And then you have suburbs sort of on the outskirts of Austin, like north, you'd have Pflugerville, Round Rock, Georgetown. To the west, you'd have Leander, Cedar Park. To the south, you'd have Kyle or Buda. We primarily work really Austin, but each of those suburb communities have their own school districts. Westlake is its own school district. And then within Austin, you have Austin ISD, which, gets beat up a lot, but, we've had a really good experience there with our kids going to a public school. But there's also a ton of charter schools. There's some really fantastic private schools to choose from. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. And then once you move on, if you're not committed to being a Longhorn, we've got Concordia, you've got St. Edwards, and then we have a really great community college. The Austin Community College is a great place for people to kind of get local credits as a jumping off point before they go somewhere else. So that all means kind of as a result that we've got a pretty educated community of folks. You've got a lot of not only the entrepreneurs and the employers, but also the students and the professors and everybody that works here.
Perfect. A lot to look forward to, a lot to choose from too. So let's talk real estate. So it probably is a little similar to what we're experiencing now in Southern California, where inventory has hit rock bottom, like almost nothing. So can you speak to your local market and the conditions?
Sure.
Should we split it in half, like between what it used to be like and then what we've experienced the last month? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Do you care what it used to be like or just what it's like now?
I don't know where it's going, right? I say that because we've had a real lurch in January, and it's really hard to say, is this a temporary condition or is this the new market going forward? So, really derailed you there.
So, like in December and all through last year, we were winning over and over again on special houses in competitive situations. We thought it was really hot last year, and it was, we'd bid 2 to 8% over, and we'd do $5,000 in option money or 1,000 or whatever, and that seemed to get us a winning deal. This year in January, what we learned very quickly was that wasn't cutting it. We are regularly placing bids that are between 20 and 30% over, with buyers paying virtually all the seller's closing costs short of commission. And, it's become a very competitive environment. It feels like California moved in, became a roommate, and all the habits are there that go with it. And so we're learning. And there's just right now there's more buyers than there are sellers, of course.
And those are hard, but you get creative, right? Like you're looking at new construction more. Am I right?
Yeah, we're looking at new construction a lot more. That kept us going pretty well for a while. but now that's really getting picked over. And so now we're going back and looking at, the few homes that didn't sell right away.
Sure,
And,
sure.
and like looking at how can we make that work, and just beating the pavement.
Right. Being resourceful. That's what we're here to do.
Yep.
Make opportunities happen. And so just a little bit, there is new construction happening in Austin.
Yeah, so there's new construction out in the burbs, of course, but where we work, there's Central Austin's pretty old, and most of those homes have gotten old enough to where it makes sense to flip them out and put something new on those lots. And so we're seeing a lot of infill in Central Austin, and a lot of two houses on one lot.
Sure.
What's real interesting, and it's changing the complexion of our city too, right? Yeah. So a lot of the Central Austin neighborhoods were the, mid-century modern bungalows built for the GIs coming back from the war, and they're getting bulldozed left and right. And like Paul said, we call them AB units. So you have one unit in front, one in the back. And you drive through these neighborhoods like Crestview or Brentwood, and they just don't look the way they used to look, which is part of growth. It's part of change, but it is different. And a lot of those people that are aging out of those homes are people that, grew up there. And it's just interesting to see the complexion of the city change.
They're kind of like the new 2-bedroom, 1-bath homes, but they're 2.5 and modern.
Okay.
So, and then you have, and it's kind of it's beautiful to me if you like diversity in your housing stock, to see the older home that maybe has been remodeled, and then the brand new construction, right next to it. To me, it makes it interesting. It's vibrant. I was a little upset about it for a while, I won't lie. But what I've embraced is that Austin's still weird and we're still artsy. It's just internet artsy. And then with the houses, these little AB units, these are the new versions of the 2-1 that you met me at.
They're just a little bit more dense.
We were younger. I had a little 2-1 bungalow, and Marquette would come over.
And I had a 2-1 bungalow as well.
Yeah, you had a 3-1.
No, it was 2.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Anyway, we're bungalow people, but there's a new version of that now.
Interesting.
Just so people can get kind of a gauge of prices. So we talked about the little AB houses being at $500,000. Can you speak about some maybe existing homes? You said
Sure.
mid-century, you said bungalow, the homes in Central Austin. I would imagine those go quicker. What are people paying for some homes in that area?
Well, let me back up and give you some intermediate stuff. So in the AB unit, the A unit's usually is larger. And it's probably 1,600 feet or so, and probably 600,000 or 700,000. And then you have the B unit sitting back there that right now is at 500. And I think that's going to go up pretty soon. And then you have your basic family home like ours that we're in right now.
Well, I think you got to go somewhere between the ABs.
Go somewhere in between. Yeah, okay, so like let's say
go Allendale.
Allendale, you can probably pick up a nice house for $900,000, and
3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms.
For a 4-bedroom house, probably $900,000, needs a little work.
Probably ranch style.
Yeah, ranch style. But then we got this bidding situation that probably goes on top of that. So, I think you're probably and we're waiting for data to come out from January to really know what's going on everywhere. But it may be $1 million.
And like our neighborhood, we live in Northwest Hills, which is still Central Austin, but more on the northwest side of town, where we have rolling hills and canyon views. And we just did our market report on that, and it's seen a huge jump in the number of $1 million homes that are going on the market. So kind of, a 3,000, 4,000 square foot house in our neighborhood is going for over $1 million easy.
Oh yeah.
If that helps.
Yeah, for like a nice family home in Northwest Hills, you'd be really lucky to get $1.5 million.
Okay.
And it pains me to say that, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But it does give people a general idea. It's not, you're not bargain shopping in Austin. You're going for the quality of life. You're not going there because the houses are less money the way they would be in Tennessee or maybe even more rural parts of Texas.
I mean, it's still affordable. It's interesting. There was an article in the Austin Business Journal comparing San Francisco to Austin and compared, we're less expensive than Denver. We're a little bit more expensive than Nashville. But we're still relatively affordable compared to other parts of the nation.
Sure.
It doesn't feel that way when you're here, and you're feeling it locally. But I think from an outsider viewpoint, it definitely.
Our economist said that Austin was going to continue this run.
Yes.
For 3 more years, is that right?
Yeah, 2 or 3 more years.
Right? Yeah. Before we plateau, and I think that's the catching up to Denver, and then we'll slow down.
Okay. Interesting. What else have we needing to talk about? It's multiple offers too. You've said that in bidding up. And so not everybody's in a position to be able to do that. But with your guidance, if they have the capacity, there is ways to get into a new home there.
Absolutely. There's a home for everybody here. They're just not all on the market right now. There's, and we put a young couple. I'm so excited. We got them a home. We got them in for 330 in Round Rock,
one of the suburbs.
And they got bid up too. But like there's a place for everyone. We just need to figure out where that is for people. It's not all $1 million homes. We
Right.
have, on the donut around Austin, you got Round Rock, Cedar Park, Lakeway. You got towns out there that are far more affordable, but of course you're not in Austin.
Yeah. Well,
because we're still seeing, the growth we mentioned a little bit earlier, we're seeing a huge influx of California businesses, tech sector, Tesla's opening their, how do you say, gigafactory? I
don't know. They got 2 things going on. They got one thing happening down in Del Valley and another thing happening in Hutto.
Right around Austin.
I think the Hutto one, they're building trucks, and I think I'm not sure what to build.
It's a factory, but yeah. And then you've got Samsung that is talking about a $10 billion chip manufacturing plant that they're considering building in Austin. Yeah. You have, we've got Facebook, you've got Amazon, you've got HomeAway, we've got Apple has a headquarters here. Oracle's relocating their headquarters here. Like all those things are part of why our unemployment rate in Austin is only 4.9%, which is low, comparatively.
Well, we were pre-pandemic, we were around 3. Am I remembering that right? I
think so, yeah.
So we still have there's, anybody without a job, that's a bad thing.
Right.
Other than if you're a child.
Yeah. So we're still real, I think, bullish on the Austin market. We still, it's a shift and it's a change. Who knows how long that will last, but we definitely
I think it'll continue to go up, and it'll change. And New York and California are coming here pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really beautiful to see how we all meld together. And the future is bright. I think around here, it feels like we're Rome, is what I keep telling people.
What do you mean?
I just feel like we're the place. Like everybody, every town, all the businesses that are coming. It's just it's mind-boggling that we went from this innocent little town that didn't want to grow to probably one of the fastest growing cities in the country. And don't get me wrong, it's wonderful here. But it's just my town. I'm used to it. I take it for granted, I guess.
It's a healthy attitude you have, and welcoming. And so maybe we'll just wrap it up, and I'll just make sure that everybody knows exactly how to get in touch with Paul and Marquette, and we'll have their information down below. And also, we talked about offering an Austin relocation guide for everybody. So that'll be in the comments down below and make it really easy for you to start in your head a plan, and then make sure that you get in touch with Paul and Marquette so they can help you execute everything in that plan. Did I forget anything, you guys, that we should be?
we're just so excited to connect with you, and we're ready to help anybody that wants to make that move to Austin. So
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
I'm always available for coaching. Like if people just want to call to get an educational consult from me, I'm honored to do that.
And we're happy to do, I mean, we've done more sales virtually like everybody, right? But also including neighborhood tours and dashboard drive-throughs of neighborhoods and homes and everything else. So happy to help however we can.
Guys. Well, Paul and Marquette, I appreciate your time so much, and everybody, we'll make sure that it's easy to get in touch with them. And if you need help exiting California so that you can become an Austin homeowner, that's what I'm here to help with. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
What do you think, you guys?
I think it went okay. What do you think?